update for a couple of days ago, which was April the 27th of the year 2026. And so this particular day, by the way, before I go any further, I'm during yesterday's video, for the one for the 26th, I ended up getting off on a couple of different tangents and never actually mentioned what I did. It was a store shift. From 9 to 6, primarily bagging, but a little bit of register. I think I did an hour of carts or something that day, if I recall correctly. But it was a store shift, and not particularly one with a whole lot of stuff to say about it. Now, switching back to the 27th, which again was Sunday. I'm actually filming this. It is Wednesday. A bit behind on all of this, and hopefully that's something that I'll talk to you about here in just a couple of minutes. But anyway, so on Sunday the 27th, I had a store shift. It was a bagger and cashier shift again, which a couple of things definitely had a couple of interesting interactions during this particular shift. One of them ended up getting, well, there's a phenomenon that I call the one-till curse. Basically how this works is that if for some reason you get down to only having one staffed cash register open on the front end at a time when you should not only have one, which means I'm not talking about early in the morning or late at night. I'm talking about midday. When for some reason you only get down to one and it's midday. This infuriates the retail gods. The retail gods do not want to see that. And when that happens, they strike down upon thee with their wrath, and something is going to happen. Once upon a time, used to call this OTW, one till wick. It has changed with the advent of different technologies and whatnot, but when I first started, the supplemental nutrition program for kids and families called WIC, the way that those were processed was extraordinarily time-consuming. And it never failed. It didn't matter if it was midday, fairly early, late at night. Basically, if you got down to having one cash register, there comes somebody with 7 WIC vouchers, which is a good 15 or so minutes, and you have a line going around the corner. It's not their fault, obviously. It's just the system. And for some reason, just magnetically drawn to the moment that you get down to one till. Or one cashier goes on break, you're down to one, you scan the first item and your register crashes. Had that. Had one time where I was down to one being the only cashier, and maybe 5 minutes into it, somebody puts a big gulp on my conveyor belt. It tips and just completely just shorts out the scale, and the register just dies, and I'm the only cashier. Another time, I'm down to only one cashier, and there is a security sensor that will not come off. Just period will not come off. And I guess somebody had been trying to steal that one, and it got bent in there. Of course, they come to the check, and some innocent customer brings it up to the checkout when I'm the only cashier. One night I am the only cashier, and for like 10 minutes, somebody comes running out of the bathroom, and they have like a bunch of merchandise that they're trying to steal or something, and they literally like throw it, and it ends up like right behind my till, and it breaks, and there's like glass and stuff, and I'm the only cashier, and there's no backup. Anyway. So in the way that I currently am my role at the store, I am very, very, very rarely ever the only cashier, except during times when it is like very early or very late. And so, but today, or that day, I was assigned to cover the lead cashier's lunch. And there are two registers open and a bagger. I sign on to the register, a couple of phones ring, the supervisor pulls a couple of triggers, and before I can almost even blink, the other register is shut down, the other bagger is gone, and basically I'm there by myself. Six minutes later, I began the most challenging register transaction that I have had in the year 2026. Now, this is a situation where, definitely not complaining about the customer or not. I think I was, it was a dementia type of situation, to be perfectly honest. But it was just one thing after another, and with nobody around to support, and again, yeah, definitely the most challenging transaction that I've had when I've been running a register in this calendar year. Also, during the only 30 minutes of this calendar year that I've been the only cashier at a time that I shouldn't have been. Good to see that this that the curse continues. Like I said, the retail gods, they don't like that. Also, later on, and we're talking like 15 minutes before the end of my day, I'm bagging now. And there is a lady, and she's one of the Instacart shoppers, who is extraordinarily picky about what goes where. And I'm not going to, not into like completely blowing my own horn or anything, but I'm fairly high regarded by most of the customers and cashiers about the way that I bag. I mean, it's something I get complimented on a lot, all right? And that being said, she just goes off and just starts completely redoing it herself. And this is something that I would take personally, except for the fact that I've seen her do stuff like this to other baggers and whatnot, so all right, well, if there's anything I can do to assist you, let me know. Have a good day. Just gotta walk off. And so this is one of those type of things, by the way, where how sick is this? But one of my favorite slogans at work is, if after 25 years in customer service, if I still had feelings, they'd be hurt right now. But clearly I don't. So, and they built that. Anyway, so, yeah, I had two interesting ones in one day. But yeah, the curse of one till, don't piss off the retail gods. Just don't do it. Anyway, the other thing, and you can tell that I'm a couple of days behind on these videos, again, getting in another rut where it's tough to get motivated about stuff, but I think one angle that I'm going to try to take is narrowing a focus. You'll notice that I've been kind of jumping back and forth between, oh my gosh, we need to focus on the money, to, oh my goodness, we need to focus on the cleaning, to, I think I really need to focus on one, spend just a few days just hardcore on it, and then kind of get that in a good situation, and then deal with the next puzzle, because it's otherwise can get a bit overwhelming when planning out. So I'm spending a couple of days focusing on really getting things tidied up around here, particularly the and moving things down to the garage and whatnot, so becoming a focus for me now. Anyway, it looks like my 10 minutes are just about up. Thank you for joining me all the way to the end, and I hope you have a brilliant rest of your day. Ciao for now, everyone. Talk to you later.